My name is Sarah Pernasi, and I'm one of the co-artistic directors of Manual Cinema.
Hi, my name is Julia Miller, and I'm also one of the co-artistic directors.
In Leonardo and Sam, Emily makes a Manual Cinema, which is a puppet show that looks like a movie that's made live with paper puppets. Usually we do these shows live on stage, and at the end of the show, we would invite all of you up on stage with all of us to see the puppets and learn about how to make it yourselves. We can't do that, so today we thought we would give you a little bit of a behind-the-scenes tour of our puppet setup here in our studio in Chicago. There's a couple of different ways we do storytelling with these puppets, and one way is through movement. How the puppets move tell you what's going on in the story and how they're feeling. So this is the first paper Leonardo we see in the show. And in this scene, he is a small monster who's trying to be big and scary. So he pops up into the screen and he waves his arms and goes, "Rah!" To make that happen, we made the arms and the body out of different pieces of paper and attached them with a little piece of wire. Then we tape the wire and the stick onto the puppet so that we can hold it off screen and move the puppet without seeing our hands.
Another type of puppet is this Leo puppet who, because we need to show so many different emotions in the characters, he actually has two different expressions, this one on his front and then this one on his back. And by flipping the puppet, we're able to show him feeling different things, which is something we use with all of the characters because of all the different feelings they have.
The movie is about big feelings, and so the puppets need to do big movements and have big facial expressions. One thing we ask ourselves when making a puppet is what's happening at this point in the story and what type of puppet do we need to build? One of my favorite puppets is this puppet of Miss Hebrides, the monster librarian. And as you can see, it's not all of Miss Hebrides, it's just her eyes, because this is for a part of the story where she's looking for information. So I decided to just build her eyes so that we could really look at her looking close up.
Versus this puppet where she's dancing, we have to see her whole body and her arms, and it also has her on both sides so she can really get down.
The setup that we have to make our Manual Cinema is a lot like a setup that you might have at home. We have a camera that doesn't move, and we have a monitor where we can see ourselves. And this is a lot like Zoom or Google Hangouts or any of the different video programs that you might be using to go to school or to hang out and meet with family and friends. In this style of movie, the camera stays still and we move our bodies and the puppets around to tell the story. So it's a little bit like a dance. Entrances and exits are very important and are one way that we can play with the camera.
And we also use those techniques to create different transitions. Like for this bus shot, I'm going to swipe the puppet in front of the camera to bring it in. I'll zoom it out and give it a little motion to show them riding the bus, and then I'll swipe it off. So that's all me creating movement around the fixed camera. We also use another style of puppetry in the movie, which is shadow puppetry. So for those puppets, they're cut out of paper, and they don't have the same detail as the illustrated puppets because we are going to light them in shadow, and we just need the silhouette. So anything you saw in black and white was a shadow puppet. So for that, we have a piece of vellum, but you can use wax paper, you could use printer paper,
Shower curtain, a bed sheet.
And that's, you're going to just want to light it from behind to show the shadow. So for example.
So I've got my trusty flashlight and I put it behind the screen and we can see Carrie in shadow.
So that's another type of puppetry we use in the show.
In addition to puppetry, a big part of a Manual Cinema do-it-yourself movie is sound and music. So now I want to introduce you to a couple of our other collaborators, Kyle and Ben, who did all of the music and sound score for the show, and they'll tell you about how they did it.
Hello, my name is Ben Kaufman. I'm one of the 5 co-artistic directors of Manual Cinema, and myself and Kyle Vector created all of the music and sound design in Leo and Sam, the movie. We're here in our small sound studio in Chicago where the music and the sound was created. And I wanted to give you a quick walkthrough of how we made the music for the show. Perhaps the most important instrument that we used to make the music was the computer. Yes, the computer is also an instrument. And the most important thing about the computer that it allowed us to do with the music was that we get to watch the film totally silently and try out different musical ideas to go along with each scene. And we can try lots of different things. We can change things as we go. and we have that feedback of always having the visuals to go along with the music. So I'm going to play a short scene now, and you'll be able to see the visuals from the show, as well as lots of the music and notes and rhythms and all the things that we created. Let me show you that now.
Hello, my name is Kyle Victor. I'm one of the co-artistic directors of Manual Cinema, and I'm going to talk a little bit about sound design in Leonardo and Sam. So in this piece, sound design is really just this kind of last layer on top of the visuals and the music. And it's just to create a sense of space and to give meaning to some of the events in the piece. And we often do that by layering a lot of different sounds to create a feeling or an event in the piece. So I'm going to take the example of the moment the film breaks in the beginning of the piece, and just take you through the different layers of sound that you're hearing there. So the first one is just the sound of a film reel, and that just plays pretty much continuously until it breaks at least. And then we've got this horror movie music. It starts out sounding normal, and as the film breaks, it goes down in pitch. Just to convey that something's breaking. So there it broke. And then we've got the actual sound of the break itself. And then we've also got this countdown. Like film countdown sound that also starts at a normal pitch, and as the film breaks it goes down in pitch to convey that something's broken. Sounds normal. You hear it go down in pitch. Oh no. And then finally we've just got some good old static that comes in after it's really broken. So it breaks. And then just a little bit of chaotic static. It's relatively quiet in the mix. And so all together, it sounds, one second, like this. Hope you enjoyed the piece.
I hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes puppet time, and I hope that you grab some paper, grab some sticks, and make your own manual cinemas at home.
Take care.
Bye.